Yeah. Okay. So this is a string and edit CS101 introduction to computer program. Okay. So yeah, so this is the link for today's YouTube. Okay, so we were learning about structure yesterday, correct? I hope my screen is visible, and can someone please check whether the YouTube live stream is correct as well? So
Yes, sir, correct, sir.
okay,
Correct.
right.
Yes, sir, it's working fine.
Sure, thank you. So yesterday we were looking at the C structures, right? We learned about a new user-defined data type called structure, which is defined using the keyword struct, struct, struct. Okay, it can have multiple member definitions, and you can create number of variables. It can be created as an array. So you can have book of 1000 here. So you will have a array of struct books of 1000 elements. Okay, and we saw how we will be accessing the structure members, correct? And just a second, something has happened here. Right, so we have looked at how to access the structure members, and we did not use the structure as an argument. Of course we did it once, but bottom one, pointers to structures. So this is where we stopped. Okay, so let us continue with structures later, but today I want to tell you about pointers. Okay, so today we are going to learn about pointers. So pointers in C programming language. Okay, so far we learned about variables, functions, identifiers, keywords, struct, and a lot of other topics. Okay, and other topics. So pointers means that we are interested in working with the reference of the variable. Okay, so remember call by value and call by reference in functions. Do you guys remember this? Call by value and call by reference in functions. So let me just take you to that particular topic for a moment. So C functions. Okay, so when you look at C functions, okay, you can see that when you call a function, we have looked at two things, that is call by value and call by reference. Okay, call by value and call by reference. Can someone please tell me what is call by reference, if you remember, students? Or do I need to call somebody by name?
Sir, it calls the address of the variables.
Okay, it calls it can you tell me once again, please? Address of the,
It calls the address of the variable.
yes, it passed the address of the variable. Okay, so which means that just like what we mentioned, pointers means that we are interested in working with the reference of the variable. So call by reference in functions is related to call by reference in functions is related to pointers. Okay, meaning we are passing the reference / address of the variable to the formal parameter of the function. correct? Is that correct? We are passing the reference or the address of the variable to the formal parameter of the function. So call by reference and call by value. Okay, so this is call by value. Here we have a particular call by value, and here we have a particular call by reference example for swapping two numbers. Okay, so let's assume that we have a function called swap. In call by value, what we will do is, if we call the function a and swap ab, right, with the values 100 and 200, the values in a and b get copied to the functions x and y. Okay, so x and y are the formal parameters, and the values a and b are the actual parameters. So the actual parameters will be containing the values 100 and 200. So x will get the value 100 copied into the location that is referred by x, and y will get the value 200 copied to the location that is referred to by y. Okay, and then you take a temporary variable inside that, assign the value of x into temporary, assign the value of y into x, and assign the value of y temporary, that is the previous x value, into the y value, and so the values are now interchanged. And now this is what you call as call by value in a function. In call by reference that we have already seen, we have seen that we will pass the address, and in the formal parameter we will use int star x and int star y. In the calling part, or where the function is getting called, we will use swap ampersand a comma ampersand b. So earlier, right, we had used swap ab in the call by value. We have used swap a comma b, but in the call by reference we have used swap ampersand a comma ampersand b. Okay, so that it means we are passing the address of a and address of b, and the variable star x and star y gets those addresses. Okay, and then we dereference the variable and we get the values from the dereferenced variable, while here temp is a normal integer variable. But what you need to understand here is this int star x is actually a pointer. Okay, so now we have seen, we have used swap, say int swap int star x comma int star y. Okay, and then the function definition. All right, so that is what we have done, and here the star x and star y are actually pointer declarations. Okay, meaning we have a variable named x and y, which are x which is a pointer, and y which is also a pointer of the type int. Let it become bigger. Okay, so when we use swap int star x int star y, as we can see here in the call by reference for the function, okay, the star x and star y means that int star x is a pointer declaration and int star y is a pointer declaration. Int star x means that we have a pointer called x. Okay, the identifier for that pointer is called x, and it is of type integer. It's an integer pointer. Okay, so same way for y also. Now let us take a look at what is pointer. So now we will look into what is pointer. Let's try to understand pointers in detail. Okay. So if you want to let us take this example program. Okay, I'm going to take this program example. I'm going to clear this and J 2021. Okay, clear Emacs. I'll call the Emacs from here. Okay, create a new buffer, paste the code, save it in lab 2021. Okay, add pointers address.c. okay, so I have saved this particular code that I have copied from a tutorial point, okay, into a file called pointers_address.c. okay, if I do an ls, you can see that there is this particular file pointers_address.c in the folder 2021, which is our current working directory. Okay, pointers_address.c is there, and I cat the pointers_address.c. this is the content. Okay, so let us take a look at the code. So you can see that at first we have a function called main, which has two variables. Okay, one variable name is var1, which is of type integer, correct, and another variable name is var2. it is of type an array. It is an array and of type character, so it is a character array var2 and an integer variable var1. Now we can print the address of the variable var1 and var2 like this. So if we use %x formatter string, what happens? %x is to print in hexadecimal format, correct? So let me compile the code, pointers_address. so gcc pointers_address.c -o pointers_address. so I omitting the .c part. The program compiled, and you try to run the program pointers_address. okay, you try to run the program. It is going to print the address memory location where the var1 is stored and the memory location where the var2 is stored, correct? So you can see that at D97418EC, that is the hexadecimal address of the location where var1 is stored. So you remember the let me try to help you recollect the rows of houses, images, rows of houses. So we have already seen how we will address the arrays, etc., right? So you must be knowing that when I mean by ampersand var2, that is the address of the variable var2, I'm pointing to the first location of the variable var2. okay, so that is the var2's 0. okay, so let me print that also. So var2 of 0. okay, and let me copy this and print the var2 of 1. okay, so var2 of 0, and this is var2 of 1. okay, save it. I compile the program and I run the code again. You can see that I have printed the var1 variable's address, var2 variable's address, and var2 of 0's address and var2 of 1's address. You can see the var2's address and the var2 of 0's address are exactly the same, while the var2 of 1's address is actually one location next to the var0's address. Now if I run the program again, do you think the same address is going to get printed? I'm not compiling the code, I'm not doing anything.
No, sir.
Yeah, it will not print the same address. Why? Because every time we run the program, it assigns the address or it assigns the location from the operating system. So it could be different every time we run it, correct? So that is these are what you call as the address of the variable. And from this example we have seen how to print the address of the variable var1, var2, var2 of 0's address, var2 of 1's address, and that was to showcase that ampersand var2 and ampersand var2 of 0, the address will be the same. Okay. Now let us go back to pointers. Yeah, all right, let's go back to pointers. So pointer means that we are going to work with the location, the address of the variable. Okay, so once you have the address of the variable, that is when you were able to do the function called by, just show me call by reference. Yeah, so when you were using the address of the variable, you have actually caught it in a pointer variable, and then you worked with the pointer by dereferencing it. What did I say? By, let me create another screen message. So what I mean by saying is that okay, so for I'm going to write for this particular function swap, okay, from the main function. From main swap gets called, okay, like swap at ampersand a or ampersand a comma ampersand b, okay, passes the address of a and b or and b, okay. Inside swap function, swap, it is swap or int swap int star x comma int star y, okay. Then you have int temp, then temp is equal to star x, and star x is equal to star y, and star y is equal to temp. Correct? This is a program that we have here, right? Temp is equal to star x is equal to star y is equal to temp, or not star, okay, it is called asterisk. So let me write it. This simple, right, this multiplication symbol or this symbol is called asterisk. Is it asterisk? Let me check the spelling, okay. Asterisk, character, yeah, it is at asterisk, okay. So that is the star symbol, that what I mentioned, okay. It's not called star, it is called asterisk. So the asterisk symbol is used here, okay, in the int star x and comma in star y, okay. Over here it is used as a pointer declaration, okay. And here the star x means we are dereferencing I'm sorry, I made a mistake, dereferencing the variable x, or the pointer x, okay. Meaning that dereferencing means that we are accessing the content that is stored in x, okay. Let me make a small change here. Now I am going to create two pointer variables. I told you these are pointer variables. So a pointer is defined as star variable name star ptr1, okay, then char star ptr2, okay. So I have created two pointers, one called ptr1, which is a pointer of type integer. ptr1 is a pointer of type integer, meaning it points to an integer location / address, or integers location or address. Does it make sense what I have written over here?
Yes, sir.
It makes sense, okay. Now I am going to write ptr2 is a pointer type of type character, okay, meaning it points to a characters location slash address. Now let us make use of it. Okay, so let us do it after printing. Okay, let us do it after printing. So what I'm going to do is ptr1 is equal to ampersand var1, and I'm going to write var1 before that. Okay, 1 is equal to 10. Okay, and I'm writing ptr2 is equal to ampersand var2. Okay, and I'm also going to say, let us say is equal to C programming. Can I put it this way? I can do that, right? But is it 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10? Okay, C class. I'll write it as C class. Okay, or C lecture. So 1 2 3 7 8 9. Yeah. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some print statements. Okay, so I'm going to printf value of var1 using pointer ptr1, okay, is percentage d, right, because it's an integer and we have to print star ptr1. Okay, I'll create one more printf statement. Okay, so let me make it a bit smaller so that it will fit in the entire screen. Value of var1 or value, okay, address of var1 using pointer ptr1 is percentage x, okay, ptr1. So take a look at what I have done, and I'm going to just do, oh, I haven't put \n. Save it, and I'm going back and I'm going to compile the program.
Sir,
Yes, there is a mistake.
sir, the code you, yes, sir,
Yeah.
the semicolon.
Yeah, I made that mistake, and when I compiled it, right, it gave me this error. Who told me this and who alerted me about that semicolon?
Sir Shubham.
Shubham. Thank you, Shubham. Okay, now let us go to the code. Yeah, so over here we are going to compile it. Okay, I made a mistake. ptr2 is equal to ampersand var2. What is the problem here? var2 it's just a warning, so let's just run it. Okay, pointers address, we ran the program, and you can see that let me put this code here. Let me clear it, let me run the program again. Okay, and you can see that wherever we have used ptr alone, right, it has printed the address using the variable ptr1. So what you need to understand here is ptr1 is actually a variable. It is called a pointer variable, and that pointer variable points to the address of the, or stores the address of a variable. Okay, stores the address of another variable which is of the same type. So we have an integer variable var1 and a character variable var2, and we have an integer pointer ptr1 and an integer character pointer ptr2. Let us try to add two more print statements. Okay, so for that printf percentage x, so this is var2 of so we are going to just print one character. Okay, and for that I am going to use it with percentage c, and I'm going to do ptr ptr2. Okay, %c, and let me also just copy this and add one more var2 with %s, okay, as a string, and then we try to print the value. Okay, this is of pointer 2, this is of pointer 2, value of var2. I think I made a mistake here. Right, I don't need this particular print statement. Okay, var2 pointer 2, and then I have pointer 2. So the first print statement is going to print the address of var1. The second print statement is going to print the value that is contained in var1. Okay, and the third statement is going to print again the address of var2, and the fourth statement is again going to print the value of the content. Okay, so for that I need to use %c, correct? So that is the value. This is %x, okay, %d, and let me recompile the program. That is just assignment to care from okay, that is fine, that is fine. It is saying that I am saving the address of an array into a character. So that is the mistake that it is pointing, but it is not a mistake, so it is okay. So we have put C lecture in the var2, right? And you can see that var1 address is this, var2 address is this, var2 of 0 address is the same, okay, and var2 address using ptr2 is also the same, correct, and var1's address using ptr1 is also the same, correct, and the value 10 and c is printed in the third last and the last statements. So let us take a look at the third last and the last statements. Third last, and this is the last print statement. Okay, okay, so over here what you can see is that we have used something called star ptr1. So that is where I was mentioning in this particular screen message, where I try to write the swap function using the call by reference. Okay, so the swap function which is used in the call by reference is somewhat like this. So it will have int swap, int star x, int star y. So those int star x and int star y are pointer declarations, all right. And then when you do temp is equal to star x, right, meaning that you are accessing the value that is pointed by the pointer x, and that star x is called a dereferencing operator. Okay, so we have learned pointers. So we have learned pointers or address pointers, and now we have learned something called dereferencing. Now let us go back to the pointers in tutorials point and go through the rest of the material. Okay, so here it has printed the address of var1 using the using just ampersand var1, but we have in our program we have gone one step ahead. We have looked at how we will use pointers. So for that we used star ptr1 and star ptr2, just like how we had seen it in the swap function in the call by reference, correct? So
Sir,
yes,
sir, in that program, the last one should be %s, I think.
The last one should be percentage.
Percentage, because in percent C
I
it is
know, I
only
know.
printing
Yeah,
that C.
yeah, I know. So if I use, so this is value of 0, right? If I use percentage s, then it will print the whole thing. It will print the whole array until where? Until it encounters \o.
Yes.
Correct? Because that's the
Yes.
string terminating character. Correct. So it will print the until the string character terminating character. Let's try that. GCC. Okay, it has actually given me a segmentation fault, and the reason probably is this pointer, right? It gave us a warning. So maybe what I will do is I will do it like this: star ptr of 10, okay, and ptr of 0. I will put it like this. Would it work if I do it this way? It will still result in a segmentation fault because it is not legal, okay, and we haven't actually learned about array of pointers, etc. So let's not just use it, make it confusing. For the time being, we are printing only percentage %c, and if you want to put a string, like let us try put as star ptr2. Let us see whether that will work. And do I need string.h for that? Let me include string.h. Let me recompile it. No, it will still result in a segmentation fault. So don't worry about that. It is percentage %c that we will use there, and the reason for that is we are using a character pointer. Okay, so we can actually do something like say what I will do is I will do one thing: star ptr2 is equal to, oh I'm sorry, ptr2 is equal to ptr2 plus 1. Okay, and I'm going to print the address and the value of ptr2 again. Okay, so this is again address and value of ptr2. Let us see what happens. Okay, this is just an example for you. So pointer address, and I'm printing the, oh I'm sorry, ptr2 percentage %c percentage %x ptr2 ptr again. Oh, I have to remove this put as. Okay, so what you can see over here is it has printed space. Okay, and it has printed the address as the next address to fe7f 2f f2 because it is f3. Let me do +2 because from this particular example it is c space lecture, right? So it has printed lecture. So if I do 2, it will now print the next character, okay, and which is L of lecture, and it has taken me to the +2 location. Now going back to the tutorial point for C pointers. So we have seen that ampersand var1 means we are pointing to the address of the variable var1. Okay, and ampersand var2 means we are pointing to the address of the variable var2. And if you print ampersand var2, it will print the address. Okay, so what are pointers? Pointers means that a pointer is a variable whose value is the address of another variable. So a pointer is a variable, first thing, okay, and value is the address of another variable. So pointer is a location in the memory which stores the address of another variable as the value of the pointer. Okay, let me do a quick drawing exercise. So let me take the calc. LibreOffice Calc. So how is a pointer generally discard? Yeah. Yes. Cancel. Okay. So a pointer is declared using type and star pointer name or the variable name. So just like how we have done over here, int star ptr1, right? So ptr1 is the variable is a pointer name, and int is the type. So type and star name of the pointer. Okay, now going back to the exercise that I mentioned. So if I do int x and int star ptr, and I do ptr is equal to ampersand x. Okay, what does it mean? Okay, so it means that, let us say I'm going to say that, okay, I'm going to say x is equal to 100. Okay, so what it means is that here in the computer memory, okay, in the computer memory location, memory area, I will have a variable called a location. I will have a location which will be marked as let us say this is the x which has the value 100. Okay, so that is the variable x at address, let us say CB232424C. Okay, D. Okay, so this variable x having the value 100 is at the location, or let me put it this way, ampersand x, right, will is this thing, ampersand x is CB2324D, and it is storing 100. Now when I say int star ptr, it means that I am creating a pointer variable. Okay, so that is ptr. Okay, and so that is ptr. Ampersand ptr could be something like D E456 DE. Okay, some other address. Okay, and it means that this address will be the value in the pointer. So if there is a pointer called ptr of type integer, then a location in the memory will be allotted to store some value there. The pointer's address itself is DE456DE, and the variable x's address is CB2324D. So the CB2324D is the value of the pointer variable ptr, and that will be stored in the blue colored location. So that is the where the value is. Okay, so is that clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now I will try to create one more drawing here. For that, do you have a class now, or are you guys free right now?
Yes, sir. Maths class.
You have a maths class. Can I take 2 more minutes? Maybe
Yes,
just 2
sir.
more minutes. Oh, it is still 2:20, right? Yeah, I thought I ran out of time. So how do I insert media function text box object? No, shape line basic arrow, right arrow. Okay, so here, right, the ptr is a pointer which is actually a memory location which is pointing to a another memory location. Okay, so we have a memory location which is called, which is identified by the identified, so the identifier, right, fire identifier name is PTR. Okay, and the value is, okay, and the address of PTR is given here. Okay, so PTR points to another variable, okay, of the same type, so both are integer. So PTR points to an integer variable, say x, which is at location CB2324D. okay, so we will be able to access that location. So this is what you need to understand by pointer. So pointer means we have a memory location which is referring to the memory location of another variable, or a variable is being referred to by the address of that variable by a pointer. Okay, so a pointer points to another variable. That is what you need to understand. Okay, so you have type and the variable name. So the variable is generally the pointer is generally created using type space star var name. So how we have done here is int star ptr1, int space star ptr1. Star ptr1 is in just one single group. Okay, so that is how you will define a pointer, not define, declare a pointer. Okay, so type is the pointer's base type. Okay, so an int pointer will point to an integer location, a double pointer will point to a double location, and a float pointer will point to a float location. Okay, so you can create int star IP, double star DP, float star FP, and char star CH. So you have a pointer to an integer, pointer to a double, pointer to a float, and pointer to a character. Okay, so the type, right, that you mentioned here, the type of the pointer should be a valid C data type. Okay, it can be a user defined data type as well, like the structure. Okay, so it must be a valid C data type, and the variable name should also be a proper identifier, and it's the name of the pointer variable. So the asterisk star, right, the asterisk used to declare a pointer is the same asterisk used for multiplication. Okay, so this is an important thing. It's called asterisk, and it is the same multiplication symbol that we use. However, in this statement, the asterisk is being used to designate a variable as a pointer. So you need to understand that when I showed you this particular screen message for swap, in the int swap bracket int star x comma int star y, I have mentioned are pointer declarations. So same way, the star name of the pointer is actually the way how you will designate that variable name as a pointer. So you have to put a star to mention that you are creating a pointer. Okay, and the actual data type of the value of the pointers, whether integer, float, character or otherwise, is the same as long as hexadecimal numbers that represent the memory address. So you know, it is the values and everything will be whatever you will be storing as hexadecimal. So for example, like this, and this value is the one that will be used to point to the variable x. So we have already done a bit of exercise over here, right? For example, if we look at this last highlighted print statements, before I did ptr is equal to ptr2 plus 2, I have assigned ptr is equal to ptr2 is equal to ampersand var2 and printed the address and the value of ptr2, and then I updated the value of ptr2 and I am now pointing to another location. So meaning that I have changed the pointer the or the the address or the location to which the pointer ptr2 is pointing to. Okay, so now how do we use pointers? So this is an actual variable declaration, int var 20, var is equal to 20, right? This is an actual variable declaration, and int star ip is a pointer variable declaration, and ip is equal to ampersand var will be the way you will store the address of var into the pointer variable ip. Okay, and if you want to access the address of the variable, it will be ampersand var. So ampersand var is used to assign the value to ip, and then we print ampersand var, and in the next printf statement we are printing ip, the address, right? For the address we will be just using ip, and it will print the address of var. Okay, the address of var will be printed because ip is pointing to var by this statement. And when you are going to print it, right, print the value of ip, that is 20, you will use star ip. And I have mentioned earlier in the screen message, when you use star x, temp is equal to star x, here the star x means a different thing. So earlier the star x meant that it is used to declare a pointer or declare a variable as a pointer. So int star x is to declare x as a pointer, while temp is equal to star x is used to access the value of the variable that is pointed to by the pointer x. What did I say? Temp is equal to star x. So x is a pointer, you agree, right? X is pointing to an integer location. So x is pointing to an integer location, and temp is equal to star x means that you want to get the value that x is pointing to. Okay, to the value of the location, value at the location where x is pointing to. That is what this does. So star ip is the way you will print the value of var. Okay, so when you execute the code, you will get the address of the variable var from the first printf statement. Then from the second printf statement, using the ip, you will still get the same address, and value of star ip, using star ip you will get the value 20. So that's it for today, I guess. It must be 220. So we will continue from null pointers and pointers in detail. Okay, so that is pointer arithmetic, array of pointers, pointer to pointer, passing pointers to functions in C, return pointers from functions in C, etc. But if you look at the particular organization of this material, you can see that we are looking at C pointers, right, after C functions. So which means that certain concepts are intertwined, and you need to understand some concepts to build better concepts with functions. So you need to understand pointers to do better things with functions, etc. Okay, so there are a lot of things that you can do. So we will continue with the rest of the topics. That is, oh my goodness, is my computer stuck? No, yes, yeah. So we will continue with null pointers and pointers in detail, which will cover pointer arithmetic, array of pointers, pointers to pointer, pointer to pointer, passing pointers to a function, returning pointers from a function in C, and then we will continue with the structures. Okay, that is the struct. So if you have any questions, you can ask me that now.
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, ampersand x and pointer x. Ampersand x means it shows the address.
Yes, ampersand x means it is an address of operator. So ampersand, address of operator. Okay, so when we were looking at the operators in C program, right, let us take a look at the operators in C programming language. we have come across different operators, and in one of the operator is not that ampersand, yeah. So one of the operator we have seen ampersand over here, right, which is A space ampersand space B, which is a binary AND operator. Another operator that we have seen in the same page is called ampersand. Okay, it is a miscellaneous operator. It is it returns the address of a variable. So ampersand A means that it returns the actual address of the variable A, and star A means that it is a pointer to a variable, right? So can you now ask me the question, Nikhil, again?
Ampersand A means it shows the address, and star A means, sir, it copies the address or it copies the value which is stored in the another variable address.
Okay, let me show you the code. Now, Nikhil, I am at line number 2, now line number 6, line number 7, 8, 9. In the line number 8 and 9 and 10, right? Am I copying any value to star PTR1? Nikhil?
No, sir.
So my question is, right now I am in line number 9, and then line number 10 you have int char int star PTR1 and char star PTR2, right? So these two declarations, am I copying any value? That is the question that you asked, right?
No, sir.
Okay, here I am just declaring PTR1 and PTR2 as pointers of type integer and character. That's all I am declaring. Where am I copying the value? PTR1 is equal to ampersand var1, right? See, PTR is equal to ampersand x. So ampersand x is CB2324D. So PTR is equal to ampersand x. CB2324D is copied into the value, as copied as the value of PTR, right? So PTR1 is equal to ampersand var1. Ampersand var1 will return the address of var1, and PTR1 is equal to ampersand var1 will assign the address of var1 to PTR1. Okay. So that is where I am assigning the address, and here when I am using the star PTR1, I am actually accessing the value that is stored in var1, and this operation is called a dereferencing operation. Nikhil, do you follow what I have mentioned? Do you follow? Do you have any more questions? Okay, what I suggest to you is, do not think of this as a theory subject. This is definitely not just a theory subject, right? Whatever we see on this particular website, tutorial point, there are C programs, and I am also writing programs, right? Start writing programs. So please write programs and understand what is happening when you do different things with whatever you have learned so far. Okay, so it is very important to give you a clear idea of what pointers, what variables, what identifiers, what keywords, and all of these things are. Okay, so you please practice, try writing programs, and then only these things will become will come naturally to you. Otherwise you will forget. Okay, so that's it, guys. What I will do is I'll stop streaming